Hey everybody. So for my last video, Trey 11, and thank you Trey 11. I appreciate your message, and I love the engagement, and I love that you communicate like I do. So thank you for your message. And actually, it was your message that sparked me to do this video. So I appreciate the engagement. So Trey 11 said, this is not the full comment that Trey 11 said. I'm just reading partial, the very ending. And so let me give some backstory to why Trey wrote this. In the video, I compared, I was asking the question, why are beauty professionals' prices disrespected and not held at the same regard as doctors, lawyers, and plumbers, okay? Because all of those professions, like you go to cosmetology school, you go to plumbing school, you go to law school. So all of them require a different certificate. You have to go to state board. You have to pass your tests. Trey 11 said, edit to add. I think comparing a stylist or a nail tech to a doctor or plumber is extremely disingenuous. Doctors are needed to take care of your health, which is a needed service. And yes, people rightfully complain about corporate medical care systems, especially in the United States. Also, having access to running water that's not contaminated is also a need. Getting your hair, nails done professionally is not a need. Also, stylists and nail techs don't go through the amount of schooling, of rigor needed to become a doctor of any kind. That's a wild comparison. So thank you for your comment. And I would like to say that you have to do your research.
Medical professions cosmetologist qualify for are trichologist laser tech, medical esthetician, medical tattoo artist, hair restoration clinic, medical assistant, plastic surgery.
You have to do your research because when I was in cosmetology school, we studied the anatomy. What you don't know about a cosmetologist and in most of the beauty professions, we study the integumentary system. What is the integumentary system? It's the hair, skin, and nails. We learn about the functions, growth, and disorders of
Fun fact: the skin is the largest organ of the human body.
Skin, hair, and nails. The reason why that's so important as a cosmetologist or a beauty professional, we are actually the first responders when it comes to paying attention to our clients and their health needs. Because if I have a client, and I'm gonna be honest, I've been doing this so long, I can tell my clients if they pregnant. I've told my clients when they needed to go to the doctor because I'm washing your hair and your hair is shedding more than normal. I'm looking at your nails and they're discolored. Um, I'm looking at I'm working on your bang and I'm looking at your eyes and I'm looking at, you have a discoloration. I see some things happening. It's just your scalp. I see some different ringlets on your skin, so we're not doctors, but a professional knows when to tell their client or advise their client to see a medical professional.
As a stylist, guys, we are the hair doctor. We're supposed to do a thorough consultation, right? They come to us, they tell us what's going on with their hair, with their scalp. We're like the hair doctor, right? And it's our job as the professional to prescribe them the appropriate treatment and the appropriate aftercare, right? I have never once gone into the doctor and say, hey, I need a bottle of amoxicillin, because I don't know, right? I have no idea what's wrong with me. What I do is I tell them exactly what's going on, and then they gather that information and they prescribe to me what I need. And that's our job, right? As the professional, they come to us, they tell us whatever's going on during the consultation, and then we take all of that information and then we prescribe them exactly what they need.
This is your reminder to get your scalp check, okay? There's a lot of conditions that can be seen in the scalp. Skin cancers, psoriasis, eczema, seborrheic dermatitis, alopecia. To my fellow nurses and doctors that follow me, because I know I have some nurses around here, please comment below and tell me y'all learn anatomy and physiology, because we learn A&P just like y'all. We do. Please educate this person below. We need, as licensed cosmetologists, because I'm sorry that y'all keep experiencing these hairstylists that don't even wash your hair, because they're not hairstylists. They are bitches y'all find it on Instagram and social media that don't wash your hair, doing hair in their kitchen or whatever else they doing in a suite, whatever, don't got suite license to third or even a cosmetology license. But me, a licensed cosmetologist, we had to learn anatomy and physiology. Why? Because just like nurses and doctors, we need to know what's going on with your body, whether there's a disease, a disorder, or condition that you have that could possibly be contagious. And we need to know that, because guess what? Those things, diseases, disorders, and conditions show up in your hair, skin, and nails. And with a cosmetologist, over the umbrella, I can be an esthetician, I can be a nail tech, because that's what all that stuff I learned. And if you come to me and you have sores in your scalp is pus and oozing, I cannot touch you. But unlike these other styles, they probably do your hair, and whatever it is you got going on that's contagious, gonna spread it to the next person. We learn disease control, all that, in cosmetology school, quote unquote, aka hair school. We learn that. Because if we see sores or anything in your hair, on your nails, whatever, the only thing we can do, we're not even supposed to service you. We have to say, sorry, ma'am, I can't service you. I'll give you your deposit back. You have to go to a doctor, or you need to see a dermatologist or podiatrist if it's something going on with your feet. We have to then refer you to someone else. And you know why? Because we had the knowledge to see what was going on with you. That could be something serious going on in your body. Again, it shows up in your hair, skin, and nails. Things that are wrong with you. Diseases, conditions, and all that. It shows up. So, yes, we have a right to charge what we are supposed to charge.
So I was an A student. I want to say that, in cosmetology. So just like you have doctors and plumbers, you have A students, you have B students, you have C students, and D. You have some D cosmetology students who just made it out of cosmetology school, okay? You got some D doctors who barely made it out of there. You got some D lawyers. So everybody, but the title of that profession is held in such a hierarchy and a high esteem that you feel like you can't compare to that. But some people will beg you differ, because it's needed for people's profession. Tell that to all the entertainers. Tell that to some lawyers. Tell that to some doctors. Okay? Because they need to look good, because if they don't look good, they don't feel good. Good grooming is important and it's needed. And that's why so many hairstylists and beauty profession just never found value in themselves and kept charging those cheap prices so that they can keep their clients. Because even in the video that I played, where the one girl was saying, "Oh, you last text was charging more. You was making more than a nurse," and I think that's what's making people mad, because they're like, "How can you make more than a nurse? How can you make more than a doctor? You shouldn't be able to do that." But that's a profession, and if you're talented at it, your gift will make room for you. Because you have some plumbers that make more than the regular plumber. You think, oh, he's cleaning toilets. It's some multi-millionaire plumbers. It's some multi-millionaire lawn service providers, and it's some multi-millionaire people that clean houses. Okay, because I know because I've done their hair. And even the cleaning lady that I was doing her hair, she's a multi-millionaire, but she said, you know what made me stand out the most? And the reason why I keep my clientele is because of you. You make me look good and you make me look good. And when I go to, visit the houses, they attracted to how I look. And they like, because a lot of cleaning ladies come to work looking, come there with their ponytail in, looking, that they don't have because she had a uniform. She had a business name on the uniform. Her hair was laid. Her lashes was nice. She looked like she wasn't even coming to clean. But that's what made her stand out. The little guy that used to do my lawn, very handsome man. His whole family, nice looking people. One day I was like, I know you make a lot of money. I said, because I've been seeing you around, this whole neighborhood. You cut almost everybody over here. And he was like, I do. And I was like, because that's how I got him, because he was cutting somebody else's lawn. And he came over there and asked me, could he cut mine? And just a very nice looking guy. And, he wasn't like the sweaty dude that came over there asking me, could he cut our lawn? And he was giving me a cheap price too, because he actually was cheaper than this guy. But when I seen his work and I seen how he handled his business, his lawn business was, I mean, his work was, I didn't see the other guy's work, but the other guy just looked hot, sweaty, and uncomfortable. Not to judge him or nothing like that, because people could judge you. But the thing is, if you're selling yourself, you have to look a certain way so people can, you know, people will want to patronize you. You have to have a certain vibe. Almost like this other show I did, Mr. Walter Johnson. It's so many people that make barbecue, but Mr. Walter Johnson is making more money than some people that have ever decided to come in the barbecue business. Why? Because he looks good. He takes care of himself as an older gentleman. He keeps himself up. He dresses nice, and he has an aura about him. But he wouldn't feel that way if he didn't feel like he looked that way. So I beg to differ. First thing about health care and keep being healthy that's needed is that you feel good about yourself and that you take care of yourself. It's documented in fact that looking good boosts your mood. It boosts your confidence. And a lot of times people are sick because they don't feel good. I do a lot of clients' hair where they haven't combed their hair in years. They're depressed. They're overworked. They're underpaid. They don't feel good about themselves. And taking all them knots and tangles out of their hair uplifts them and make them feel better about themselves. I just think that a lot of us need to just change our perspective because it's almost like this is what I want to say. We're all different. It's people that's making cupcakes, and people thinking you just making cupcakes. How are you a millionaire? It's somebody I follow, Cake King. He looks nice. He takes care of himself. He's doing really good selling his cupcakes. He's working 2 hours out the day, 2 to 3 hours out the day, and he's happy. And he lives in a nice home. He's able to travel, So it's you have to find what works for you. But you can't get mad and say that they don't deserve to make more than a doctor or a lawyer or whatever. Because who are we to judge to tell people that what they do is insignificant and not important?
Watch Zach Mesquite's video on how he charged his client $9,000 to do their hair. And I'm not here to defend pricing because real ones know how much 450 grams of 30-inch pure white blonde Russian hair is going to run. But I wanted to address a comment that I saw, and this is a comment that I see on a lot of hairstylist pages. And it varies, but it always goes a little something like this. Hairstylists charge just as much, if not more, than doctors these days. This is ridiculous. Who do they think they are? I need you to answer a question for me really quickly. If you had to choose one person to be inaccessible to you because of price, would you rather that be a doctor or a hairstylist? I don't know about you, but I would much rather that be a hairstylist. In my opinion, I don't believe that the medical industry should be capitalized on so much so that hairstylists that are providing luxury services that are not a necessity are now being compared to it. And again, this is just my personal opinion, but the only things that should be able to be capitalized on or price gouged for are things that are non-essential to our survival, like 30-inch platinum blonde hair extensions. Again, if I had to choose between a doctor or a hairstylist being inaccessible, I would choose the hairstylist 1,000 times over. Because getting extensions is not medically necessary. Having any other color besides your natural is not medically necessary. The only part of hairstyling that I could deem remotely necessary would be haircuts. Because sometimes there is a medical reason as to why somebody needs to have their hair short, or sometimes there is a mental reason as to why somebody needs to have their hair short. But this is also something that you could absolutely 100% do by yourself at home with a YouTube video, a pair of clippers, and a pair of shears. I don't know, I guess it's just a little ridiculous to me that it has become so normalized in our society to not receive proper or necessary medical care that instead of saying doctors shouldn't be able to price gouge and capitalize off of life-saving and medically necessary procedures, we are instead saying that creative industries such as hairstyling that are not necessary to our survival are charging too much because what you want to have is not accessible within your budget. Very interesting.
Do you believe that you can tell someone's health by their hair?
Oh, most definitely. I can tell if somebody is under distress, or if their thyroid is out of shape, or if there's something I have no idea, and I'm not a doctor, so their hair feels dry. I've had a lot after COVID lose their hair, and I can see it usually before they can, and I send them to the doctor. So 100%. If your hairdresser is telling you something about your hair, go to the doctor.
Take time to love you. Do something kind for you. Get that massage. Get your nails done. Get your hair done. I know you can do it yourself and you prefer to do it yourself, but you don't have time. So it's okay to let somebody else do it. Give them the money. So you could take some of the stress off yourself, you know. But anyway, thank y'all so much. I appreciate you so much for hanging in there with me. Like I said before, if you anything you seen on here, if you have to comment on it, you're more than welcome. I love that you engage, please, and I love to engage back with you. So please like, comment, or subscribe to the channel. And I would even love to have conversations with some of you guys. So if y'all into that, let me know, because I like to talk. But anyway, it's your girl, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.
I'm not a doctor, but I am a PhD, professional hair designer. I am a professional hair designer. That's PhD.